so windy that going for a bike ride was miserable here in Oklahoma. Because normally Oklahoma is like a wind tunnel at all times, like just a wind tunnel. So I ride my bike all the time for exercise, and usually it's like pedaling into the wind and you just hate your life and you just kind of want to steer into oncoming traffic and get it over with. And today it was like the weather was like beautiful, like perfect temperature, not too windy. It was great for bike riding all weekend long. I loved it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
I mean, not that I'm actually going to steer into oncoming traffic. That's not going to happen. But
I know. Similar to me wanting to cut my fucking hands off. Like I'm probably not going to do it. But let me get eczema one more fucking time.
Oh man!
All right. YouTube should be up now. So sorry.
Yeah, he's on.
Wrong link.
Nice.
All right, cool. Yeah, biking, man. I know that in the past 5 or 10 years, a lot of people are biking up the mountains and doing the trails, but those bikes are no joke, man. Those are like $2,000 bikes.
Yeah.
Mine was only like $5, but still, yeah.
Yours is 5 what? 5,000?
500.
500.
Oh, 500.
Hey, some of these bikes are $5,000, man.
Some of them are.
Yeah.
I want to get one of those, but
some of them are like motorcycles. The only thing they're missing is a motor.
Tell you, man. Once I hit that GS11 and start getting that GS11 pay, that's going to be like way up there on my list, right?
He's saying once I'm balling is what he's saying.
Exactly. Once I'm balling, get me one of them $3,000 bikes that weighs like 1.5 pounds.
Right.
It's made out of like some kind of like carbon steel that's like super strong. Basically freaking vibranium bicycle. Yeah.
My ex-girlfriend, she works for Trek, and so she's like, yeah, you should. I'll get you a discount on a bike. I'm like, how much? Oh, they're like $7,000. I'm like, what? Hell no! I'm gonna buy a fucking car.
Yeah, right. For $7,000, yeah.
Most of the cars I've owned were less than $7,000, man.
Bro, yeah, man, come on, man. I don't need a bike that fucking bad.
Yeah.
It's good exercise.
Well, how many of you guys play the lottery, state lottery?
I do once in a while.
Nobody.
I did lottery for the second time ever, like 2 weeks ago, because it was high everywhere.
Yeah, I'm not
it's only $1, so $1 per ticket. Well, some lady in Norwalk, California, says she won 26 million lottery, but the ticket she had was in her clothes, and she accidentally washed it.
Goofy ass. What?
So
how did you know that was the winning ticket number?
I don't know.
The thing is, though, they keep a record of that in a lot of states. Like, there's a receipt, there's a record of it somewhere.
Right.
So, like, even if she washed it, even if it had been burned up in like a wildfire there in California, she should still be able to cash in. So I'm calling bullshit on that. I'm calling.
Yeah. Well, so this winning Super Lotto Plus ticket back in November 14th was sold at an Arco AM/PM convenience store in Los Angeles, suburb of Norwalk. Thursday was last day to redeem it. Last Thursday, nobody did. So a store employee said that a lady came in Wednesday and told workers that she had put the ticket in her pants and was destroyed in the laundry. And the reason why she knew, because she played that number all the time.
She probably wants to cut her hands off right now.
$26 million. What do you do, though?
I would puke.
What would you do? $26 million.
What do you mean? What could you do? What could you do? I'm trying to put the ticket back together or something. Shit.
How about me a $5,000 bike?
Oh, you saying what would you do if you won it? What was your question?
What would you do? What if you did? If you were that lady, like, man, I watched it.
I cried.
Yeah,
he cried.
No, I would be like, all right, there's a receipt for this.
Yes, there's got to be some way.
Yeah, I don't. That's why I don't believe her, Magnus.
I think there's a receipt, but then what do you call that? There's no name to it, so obviously it's not tied to you, or you know what I'm saying.
I mean, unless the way.
I went to AMPM. Do you have the camera? You saw me buy it. You right. Transaction. Probably that way. I mean, I'll do everything. Yeah, there got to be some way.
Bro,
then,
in this digital age,
lottery,
they should be able to pull footage or something.
But will they want to do that? You know what I'm saying? That's
probably not.
Exactly.
You know? No, they don't want to do it.
I'll tell them. Hey, if I get that $26 million, I'll give you $1 million if you can find out where my ticket.
Well, and then whatever store actually sells those winning tickets, they get some money. They get a cut.
Yeah,
they do. So it would be in their
best interest. Yeah,
the stores to want to make sure
it'd be in their best interest.
So remember, next time you buy a lottery ticket, as you're walking out the door, flash that thing up towards the camera.
Yeah, there you go.
Living your life. She'll never get that chance.
Yeah, no. But
or take a picture.
$26,000. $5,000 bike, you're thinking too small. Go like 10,000.
There you go,
man.
Bro,
you got 26 million.
I get 26 million. I'll buy a fucking bike factory and make my own bike.
There you go.
There you go. Invest
and make some money while you're doing it.
You know what I'm saying?
Those things are not cheap.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, those vibranium bikes, man.
Yeah.
Oh man.
That's what I do. I'll buy a vibranium.
Wait, vibranium? Isn't that fucking Wakanda? Hold on.
Yes.
I was like, I had to think about this. I was like, vibranium.
I said it like twice.
I was like, vibranium, bro.
That's like a real thing. All right. So who's ready for summer? Since we have these new guidelines, things are looking up and up. People are getting vaccinated now. People are going back to work. Everybody ready for summer?
Man,
I'm ready for summer. My body's not.
Been putting in this work. Let's go.
He's about to be like STD's going to spike this summer.
I'm wearing a 2-piece Speedo.
Experts are predicting a flooding summer.
What's the other piece spike?
Doctors hope that horny Americans have learned some lessons during the pandemic that could be applied to sexual health. The long-awaited vaccinated spring is finally upon us, and the sun is shining. The trees are blooming, and outdoor dining no longer requires dressing up like you're hiking the Alps. And as more needles make their way into more arms, and dating apps get re-downloaded, and more, it looks like the U.S. may be in for a raunchous, horny summer of the century. Oh man! Well, yeah. I mean, it's already happening now. People are going crazy right now.
It's about to go live for damn sure. There's going to be orgies in public parks.
There will be. Man, when I
participating
part of downtown last night, people
question.
Were you participating?
Not really my scene, but
you're the single one.
That's right.
Oh yeah, you and Phil, Kellen. So like, we look through you guys. You should,
hold on, bro. Back up. You can't say you and Phil, Kellen. You and Phil. Oh no.
You're the single guys.
You were saying, we are the single ones. Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. There you go. I'm not saying you're going to be slutty. I'm just saying.
Oh, I'm going to be so slutty.
I already told you, bro. I'm busting out the 2-piece Speedo.
What is the other piece for?
Exactly. I need to know what the other piece is. What is it?
I need to know.
You got one for the arm. You got one for the hammer. You know what I'm saying? We're going to be. You know, it's 2-piece Speedo, baby. It's in.
Yeah,
it's in.
Well, I do know that at least at West Texas, Susanna will have a very busy summer.
Oh yeah,
she will.
And she's gonna love that. She's gonna love the shit out of that. And you'll be like, maybe you guys should try anal.
That's the solution.
Oh man, that's crazy. Well, yeah, guys, it's starting right now, at least for California. I'm sure Florida during the spring break time, they just went berserk. Florida. Yeah, Corpus Christi out there, San Padre Island.
Hey, it's gonna be the new baby boom. It's gonna be the new baby boom. They're rapping for you, tap it.
Oh my goodness.
Well, yeah, guys. I mean, a lot of people have been indoors, been, just scared of this and that. People just, I mean, poor kids, our kids and the younger generation, where they didn't have that spring, they didn't have that summer. Where us growing up, we've had that. All the crazy stuff that we did when we were younger. Of course, you got the seniors graduating. It's fortunate, at least for California, that a lot of the kids went back to school. So at least they have that towards the end. I know they got like a few more weeks until summertime. So,
what's crazy though?
How's
he getting another Kieran Ichiban out over there? I saw it.
Y'all gonna have me go ahead and pour up something. I'm trying to get hydrated.
Oh, I'm double fisting, right? So I got
there. We go. He's got the hydration on the other side.
That is not. Yep. What is that?
This is water. This is water. It's just water.
Oh boy, he emptied that shit out. Put vodka in it. Don't let it.
It's just clear.
I am getting.
Well,
is it white girl wasted? That's what's happening.
I was last night.
All right, so last weekend was the Mother's Day, and I don't remember last Mother's Day, which was right in the middle of the pandemic. Not a lot of us went out because everybody's scared. So this last Sunday, we went to the park. The Carmona family went to the park, and kids had fun. Like 22 total in the immediate family. So, did you guys had enjoyable? What did you guys do on Mother's Day?
Oh man, it's basically the same thing I do every Mother's Day these days. Is just call my mom because I'm not even like in the same time zone as her. So can't really go out for Mother's Day dinner or anything like that.
Yeah,
I sent some chocolates and chocolate covered cherries to some of my favorite women, and called my mother. But listen, Carla, I wasn't saying like women like I'm romantic interests. I'm talking about like my aunts and godmother, you know what I'm saying? Shit like that. So then I FaceTime with my mom, which is always a blast. We just talking reckless shit. My mom's funny as hell. She keeps reminding me she's great. She wants to be a grandma like ASAP.
Aww.
Like my mom is literally, she's to a point, she's like, you know what? It's 2021, so you don't have to worry about getting married, Kellen. You can have a baby first. Like that's where she's at. She's literally there.
Yeah.
I told her, I said, Mom, I might just find like 2 lesbians that want to have a baby and see, what I'm saying? Like do some co-parenting shit. And I was half-ass joking. And she goes, that's not a bad idea. I was like, damn. She is ready, yo. She is ready.
Oh my goodness.
I became an uncle like a month and a half ago. So like now the pressure is a little bit off, right? So just a little bit, right? Like, but yeah. So like baby Ishan is now like taking the pressure off a little bit.
Congrats.
But,
Baby Ishan, you got you a little half black baby over here?
No, he's half Indian actually.
Oh shit. I was like, Ishan, okay.
Yeah, Ishan half Indian. But yeah, he is a little mixed baby.
Nice.
Yeah.
Is that back in Indiana?
No, they're out in Pasadena, California.
Okay, that's good. I was gonna say, hopefully not in Indiana. God damn.
No, God no. My brother and his wife are like both rocket scientists out there. So
your brother and his wife are both rocket scientists?
Yeah.
So they brought another little fucking genius into this world?
Yep.
Well, we hope so.
Congrats to them. God damn. Congrats.
Yes. Spelling bee champion, probably, most likely.
We'll see.
They probably spell Ishan. It's like E fucking some kind of apostrophe weirdo fucking Z73. Like, yeah, this is Ishan. Like,
it'd be great. Like freaking what's his face?
Like Elon Musk.
That's the one. Yeah, that asshole.
He threw a weird ass. Yeah, you look at the spelling of his baby, and it's like Zach, but that
it's like a mathematical formula. That's what they got going on over there.
Yeah.
Ishan, like that.
Ishan, yeah.
So Carlo, what did you do for Mother's Day?
Well, for Mother's Day, I was able to spend it with my mother, of course, my dear mother.
Oh,
I'm so happy to be back in the States around her all the time now. So she lives about 2.5 hours away, but we always, get together. My husband bought me a sauna, one of those portable saunas.
Nice.
Wow, sauna.
It's
How do
nice.
you clean that thing though?
It's easy to clean. Actually, you just take the like afterward, you wipe it down, and you turn it inside out, and you can just wipe it down. It's really easy to clean. And yeah, it is, and it works. It's fantastic. It works really good. I was really shocked. So, I like it I like it better than the gym sauna because you can put your hands through and you can actually do stuff with your phone and everything. So I think it's pretty cool. You look funny. My daughter walked in and just fell out in the floor laughing.
Yeah, you look funny as hell on one of them things.
Yeah.
Look like a Michelin Man suit or some shit.
Yeah, but it is awesome.
Around.
It works really well. And my husband, he's been getting in it too. So can
together?
Well, no, we're working on that. We're working on that. Maybe another 15, 20 pounds. I sit on his lap.
Y'all really wilding out.
I plan to wild out.
Had a baby with a toaster.
Yeah, it was good. My daughter and my husband, they're always great to me on Mother's Day. So
there you go.
Nice.
And then my mother, of course, and father, they're great on my Mother's Day too.
You know what? You need to start putting the Instagram handles up there. Everybody needs to follow Carla on Instagram.
She should.
Yeah. She's off the chain, yo. She posts some wild ass shit. Carla is a wild girl, yo. Wild. I mean that. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You all in here, you all sweet, innocent, well spoken. She get ratatouille on IG, bro. I love it. I love it. I have to look at the shit sometimes. I'm like, who the fuck is this posting this shit? Look on it, I was like, God damn, Carla is savage. I love it. I love it.
All right. Well, yeah. That's one of the things. Carla's always been like that, and she's been the master troll on Instagram. But it's some funny stuff, man. Great stuff, man.
Master troll. Yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah. All right, guys. Like I said, so we've got Carlo posted something about what men and women do in the household. So I have some 10 gender stereotypes that used to be different. Of course, it's 2021 now, and we have either changed roles or it's not just a boy or a girl thing. For example, did you know that the color pink was actually for boys?
Yes.
Really?
Didn't know that. Yeah.
Back in the day. Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, man down.
Yep. Yep. Well, anyway, so here's some 10 things that have changed since throughout the history from the 1800s, 1700s to now. So now, number 10 here, pink for girls right now and blue for boys, right? But back then, pink for boys and blue for girls. Today, pink is often associated with all the delicate, romantic, and feminine. However, in the article of 1918, declared that pink was for boys and blues was for girls. The main reason behind this was that pink, which is derived from red, is a stronger, warlike color and thus more suitable for a boy, whereas blue was considered more delicate and dainty and thus more fitting for girls.
So we're not even going to acknowledge the fact that Carla just grew facial hair.
Yeah.
We just gonna fucking play dumb real quick. We just gonna play dumb real quick.
That was a quick change.
Happy Mother's Day.
Hey, change voices.
Hey, the gender stereotypes got real. Just switched up real quick.
It's a real man cave in here now.
Real outlaw, man. Who's this?
All right, so
followers.
Yeah, it's nice to finally meet y'all.
Are you gonna introduce yourself? Yeah. What's your name, brother?
My name is D3. I'm Carla's
D3.
husband. I'm Dorsey. Yeah.
Nice to meet you, brother.
Nice to finally meet y'all too and talk to y'all because y'all off the chain. Everybody, y'all.
Thank you.
Wild.
Yeah, thank you. Sometimes we are. I think we are.
Sometimes. No, it's mandatory. Because y'all are actually saying what other people are thinking, and you got to do it. So I'm with that.
All right, I'll take that.
Let's go.
All right, so we said number 10 here, 10 gender stereotypes that was different from back then until now. So like I said, number 10 was pink. Pink was for girls. Boys, and blue is for girls back then. All right, number 9. Now dresses are for girls, but back then dresses were for girls and boys.
And you know what? And they still should be. If y'all ever wore a kilt in your whole life, have you ever wore a fucking kilt? Wore a kilt one time, bro, in Tokyo. We went thrift shopping. Yep. We always had a theme each time. We bought kilts one night, bro. And I'm talking about, I went straight up. I didn't wear any underwear. We was out wilding in Tokyo, and it was phenomenal.
Free balling.
Free balling, baby.
Just free balling in a kilt.
And we have places, girls lifting up the skirts and shit. Like I'm not gonna lie, I got sexually harassed a few times. You know, I should have turned some people's asses in, but I didn't. Okay, I was drunk. We kept it moving. You know what I'm saying? I've been me too. I have, but no, it was a good time. And I realized, I was like, damn, you can do so much shit in a fucking skirt. You know what I'm saying? I was ready for some shit to pop off too. I'm not a kicker when it comes to fighting. I'd rather just do this. But when you have a kilt on, you suddenly want to kick a motherfucker. I'd be like,
really?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Right in the chest.
So much room. So much room.
Yes.
Oh, man.
Anyway, I'm sorry.
Well, if you look at, for us Catholics or Christians, we get baptized usually in a dress. And that's a normal thing for us. So that's still kind of weird. But if you look at photographs, if you look at photographs,
you got baptized in a dress.
Baptized, yep.
Well, it's a robe or something like that, right? Or I don't know, whatever.
It's kind of like a pajama.
Little people.
What church y'all go to?
Catholic church.
Like a one-piece pajama. I don't know what it is, but anyways, I have a picture of that.
They told us just to put on some shorts.
Right. I never seen
But back in the 19th century, you look at photographs, you'll see children, both boys and girls, they were wearing dresses.
I do remember seeing those.
Oh shit!
Yeah. All right. So number 8.
Part of the security system.
You guys might not know this, but it's
yeah.
Number 8. Now cheerleading is almost exclusively for women. Of course, we do have some cheer men, but back then cheerleading was mainly for men.
Yeah, they didn't call it cheerleading back then. Just to let you guys know, it was called being an athletic supporter.
Oh shit. That sounds like a fucking jock strap, dog. What you
Exactly.
Well, back then, actually, you're pretty right. When cheerleading originated back in the mid-19th centuries, it was seen as an all-male sport, which included gymnastics, stunts, crowd leadership. Being a cheerleader was similar to being a quarterback, and it was considered one of the most important things that a young man could take away from college. Eisenhower was a cheerleader.
I believe it.
So was Jimmy Stewart. So was Jimmy Stewart. And again, I guess back in
Jimmy Stewart,
maybe the
actor.
30s. Jimmy Stewart.
I don't know
the actor.
Old dude.
Old actor, like Mr. Smith goes to Washington.
Yes.
Mr. Smith Goes to Washington. He was in that one.
Yeah, there you go.
Like an old-timey actor, yeah.
And the one with the Christmas movie, what was that one? With the
It's a Wonderful Life.
It's a Wonderful Life.
There you go. He's the main dude from It's a Wonderful Life?
Yes, that's him.
Okay, all right, there you go. Now I know.
Now he knows. Yeah.
I didn't know that other shit.
Athletic supporters. Yeah.
All right, so
Jimmy the jockstrap Stewart.
He holds it down.
Literally. Jimmy Jocko, baby.
Oh man.
All right, guys, we've been talking about 10 gender stereotypes then and now. Number 7. Right now, knitting is for grannies, or at least for women, right? Well, back then, males was exclusively for men for knitting. They had knitting guilds back then.
Really?
That seems like a thing. Yeah,
Yep.
seems like one of those patriarchal misogynist. Like women can't make things with their hands, so we're gonna make this a male only activity.
Right. That makes sense.
And that's from the same time when the men were wearing wigs too. So.
Exactly. Right. Wigs and makeup. Wigs and makeup. Yep.
I feel like a lot of this shit probably changed.
During the ages, knitting became extremely.
Floyd, you still there, buddy?
Yeah.
We're about to lose his ass.
Yeah, I think we might have lost his ass.
I mean,
Who's talking about knitting?
You hear me?
Oh,
it's sporadic.
Hello, you guys hear me?
Got that?
Yeah, we got you.
Yeah. Okay.
You might want to.
So yeah, knitting.
Okay.
During the Middle Ages, knitting became. You hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, we got you.
Okay. During the Middle Ages, knitting became extremely popular, and knitting guilds were established to protect trade secrets, improve the quality of the profession, and boost business. Most interesting, these guilds were exclusively male. Young men who desired to become a master knitter were expected to devote 6 years of their life to training.
Wow.
6 years of knitting training.
I didn't know knitting was that in depth.
Right.
Yeah.
That's some intense knitting training right there.
I imagine a lot of the gender stereotype flip-flop shit happened with the world wars. You know what I'm saying? When you started having like multiple countries going to war, sending all the men, women had, they picked up a lot of slack. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they had working the factories and everything. You're right.
Right. Yeah. So I imagine a lot of this stuff you would look and it'd be, around 1919 or 1917 or whatever with World War I, and then obviously again in the 40s with World War II. But I don't know that. Don't take my word for it. I'm just saying.
It's a reasonable, rational theory. Let's put it that way.
Yes.
You try that now, it's a man law violation.
Right.
All right. So we're talking about 10 gender stereotypes that has changed over the years. Number 6. Right now, hot chocolate is a drink for kids and women, right? Or for Christmas, whatever it is, wintertime.
No, I like some hot chocolate. What?
What are you talking about? It's not
limited to women. With some hot chocolate.
But then, back in the ages, it was a drink for a choice for warriors.
It's still a drink of choice.
It's still a drink of choice for warriors.
It still is.
Didn't y'all have that in your MREs too?
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did.
Yeah, we sure did.
Absolutely.
Along with the dried pears. Oh yeah.
So for those who know,
those
who know where chocolate
jalapeno cheese.
That's chocolate was the cocoa plant, right? So the Aztecs consumed hot chocolate for the warriors and merchants and nobles who were willing to fight. Both blood and chocolate were thought of as sacred liquids, and thus hot chocolate was served as the initiation ceremony of a new eagle, jaguar knights who had to endure penance process before being allowed to join the elite Aztec army. So they drank blood and hot cocoa, or cocoa. I don't know.
Hot chocolate was also an aphrodisiac. I just made that shit up. I'm kidding.
I was about to say
no, it is. It is. No, it is.
Some chocolates are aphrodisiacs.
So. There was that like $300 chocolate back in South America. Like one piece is like $300.
That's too much. No.
Hey, right. Ain't nobody paying $300 when I can go to the motherfucking store and get a goddamn Kit Kat for $1.50. You know what I'm saying?
I can get a pack of left Twix.
You know what I'm saying?
Just the left ones?
Just the left ones.
Oh, damn.
Come right Twix.
Oh, man. All right. So we've been talking about 10 gender stereotypes back then and now. Number 5. Now, men are usually don't cry, but then weeping men were neither feminized nor condemned.
Sounds like they had it right.
Yeah.
That's why men kill themselves at a higher rate, because they don't deal with their emotions and they don't talk about their traumas and shit. They don't cry enough, because we tell them, men don't cry. That bullshit. It's bullshit, because these motherfuckers do, or they kill themselves. So.
In the old texts or even stories, in Homer, the Greek army repeatedly burst into tears, and Zeus, the god of the sky and thunder, wept tears of blood. King Arthur cried often, such as when he had to go to war with his good friend Sir Lancelot. And in medieval romances, knights cried because they missed their ladies and because they didn't get to go to tournaments.
Oh, them little weak ass
bitches. What a bunch of pussies.
There we go. Talking that shit.
Crybaby.
No, but it's getting better though.
Oh, crybaby ass. I was referring more to them saying they couldn't go to the tournament. And it's like this grown ass guy, I can't go to the tournament.
It is getting better though. Like now we're getting to this point where there's less stigma on that, right? So
rightfully so.
You know, if you are, there's more tolerance. I guess there's more acceptance of men admitting, hey man, I don't have my shit together, and I need some help, and having a good cry and that kind of shit. So yeah. It's getting better.
Crying is cleansing. It
Absolutely.
is what it is. Yes. So, but it has absolutely nothing to do with your manhood whatsoever. If anything, is you being a man and knowing what your own weaknesses are, and if you don't know that, then
that part.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with that.
Don't think because a motherfucker cries that they won't punch you in your fucking nose still. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Don't
that
get
old
it
man
twisted.
strength is still in there.
Don't get it twisted for a minute. Like,
That's how you know somebody's really mad too. If they start crying, like, oh yeah.
Hey, coming up, anytime the cats start crying before you fought, I did not fight them motherfuckers. Like, he's crying. I'm not fighting him, bro. He's tripping. He's gonna lose his shit. he's super emotional right now. I'm not. I'm mad, but I ain't that bad. This motherfucker's real bad, so I'm good.
I'm out. I'm the fuck out.
Yep. Yeah, his face is red. That's a problem.
and you know he's real mad when like snot start coming out. You know, got coming out and all that.
Or he start talking to his voice gets real high. Start talking to himself.
Motherfucker!
All right, we're good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm good.
Oh man,
you can. Have
but I think. But you guys agree with me. For those who play sports, or we're maybe in battle, whatever, we tend to cry during those times. When we win, when we lose, when we lost somebody in battle, or one of our brothers, tendency to when we see bawling of tears, or that's more acceptable. But I think it's mostly during battle or sports and all that. So
caught like 7 words.
I don't know. I lost a lot of friends to, not a lot, but I lost too many. Like one is too many friends to like suicide in the military. That like if you gotta let that shit out, man. Yeah, you gotta have an outlet for that.
Yeah, and legit, like you have to be able to have these conversations, and more than us just talking like right now. You have to be able to talk to your people and like let them know, like, yo, I have these down moments as well. I cry, you know what I'm saying, and be open and be vulnerable, so people will be willing to do that. I had a guy that I did a shoot with him for a week in Afghanistan. I actually interviewed him and everything. Spent a week with this dude, 25 years old, Staff Sergeant Jeffrey Rogers. And after I left Afghanistan, just 2 months later, there was I forgot the name of this website, but they post all the troops that died. And I saw his name scroll on there. And I was like, man, let me look this shit up. Bro, sure enough, it was fucking him, man. I reached out to some people. I thought he died in combat. And then, they told me, he's like, no, he killed himself. And it's crazy because I was just with him a couple months before and you never would have got that. But again, we don't open up, you don't express enough. You don't know what the fuck people are going through. So.
You get those people that you go through like months of training with, and then they go out underway or something like that, graduate, or they go out underway for the first time and they're away from their family all that time and they just can't handle it, or they're away from their family and maybe wife leaves them or something like that. That's what happened to one of my good buddies, is that wife left him on deployment.
That's a tough situation. I think a lot of times too, we think about just being men. We actually have problems with coping, I think.
Facts.
Okay, so by me being a man, just like, say for instance, if I'm having an issue and all of us, the 5 of us are talking, and I tell you bits and pieces of the story. And one of the things, we all have a drink, we just sit back, laugh and joke and everything like that. But a lot of times we don't really cope with the underlying root of the problem, the issue, the main issue.
Facts.
And does it mean that I'm a less of a man for not telling you? Or does it mean that you're less of men for not bringing that out of me? So we have to know what boundaries to set as men and boundaries that we can go across as being friends too. That's the tough part.
That's real.
True.
Yeah. I'd always ask my airmen, my sailors, my Marines, everybody that I worked with, like, at least once a week, I'd ask them like, for real, how you doing? Like, don't give me that standard answer of like, I'm holding it down or whatever. Like, for real, how's it going? Especially when you got people that like, are dealing with depression, right? And so like, I always did my best to try to be open to people, and if they were dealing with something, hear them out and try to, point them in the right direction, help them, get some help. So
it's crazy what just a simple change of words can do. Because I quit asking people, "How are you doing?" Right? Because everybody, you say, "How are you doing?" "Oh, I'm good. I'm fine. Oh, living." Yeah. So now I say, "How are you feeling?" Or I'll say, "How does it feel to be you right now?"
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And for some reason, that resonates more with people when they say, "How are you feeling?" You get a more real answer from people for whatever reason. When you say, "How are you feeling?" Like, damn, how am I feeling? Some people, they hit you with that. They kind of got to think about how they're feeling, but they know how the fuck they're feeling. It's like they're trying to say, do I want to tell you right now how I'm feeling?
Right.
Are you ready for what I'm? Yeah. But it's a trip, man.
All right, number 4. Now computer programmers are nerdy young men. Back then, the earliest programmers were women.
Sounds like that movie Hidden Figures.
Mm-hmm.
It is exactly. It is. Yeah, that's exactly. I didn't know. Actually, I didn't know until that movie came out. I know there was programmers, but I didn't know that the earlier programmers were women.
What's that movie called again?
Hidden Figures.
Hidden Figures. Yeah,
I gotta write that down, man.
Yeah, that's
absolutely
good.
Pretty good movie.
In the early 1940s, the world's first computer programmers were hired, and most of them were women. The University of Pennsylvania employed 6 women to work at its ENIAC machine, one of the world's first electronic computers at that time. And that movie highlights NASA. I think it was NASA.
Yep.
A lot of the mathematicians, one of the best mathematicians, were not just women, but they were black women.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
now I wonder if though there was part of the stereotypical idea of like women as from being like secretaries, and having that typing skill, if that played into why early on computer programmers were women. Like I wonder if there's a correlation there at all, but who knows? Could be wrong. Which is something interesting.
That makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense. They're actually typing and doing 10 key and everything like that too. And a lot of times you think about jobs like that, there might have been some egos like, oh man, that's a woman's job. We don't do that. Okay,
right.
Then all of a sudden the market changed, and now you on the outside looking in, now you're looking stupid. So that makes a lot of sense.
That's some karma right there. Like all of a sudden now women have this like really valuable skill, and men are like, oh shit, we got to catch up.
Yeah,
we got to catch up with this.
Yep.
Yeah, that does make sense. For the first computer programmers would be women. They're more suited for that. All right, so we've been talking about 10 gender stereotypes then and now. Number 3, now stockings are for women. Well, back then, stockings were for men.
Yeah, if you look at the old pictures.
Yeah, I do remember a lot of old ass paintings that dudes wearing stockings.
You mean the white stockings they used to wear with the shoes with the belt buckles on them?
Yeah, that's the ones.
Had them knickers on.
Knickerbockers. Yeah, long before women wore tights, men wore hose, a type of stockings for tights, an important staple of male wardrobe during the Middle Ages. European men wore male tights on horseback. In the 16th century, shorter tunics became all the rage and exposing more of the leg. Men felt they had to have nicer legs, and the fashion of time began to accommodate these manly desires.
Nothing but moose knuckles everywhere.
Right.
No, thank you.
Boy, and that monkey tail hanging out, boy.
Yeah, you look at some of those old paintings from like the Renaissance and oh man, so many men in tights.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So it was male for a long time, but it wasn't until later women started wearing stockings, and the first pair of female pantyhose was not invented until 1959.
I bet it came in a plastic egg.
I was thinking the exact same thing. We used to throw those eggs because our Nerf football, the dog took a chunk out of the Nerf football and it wouldn't flow right, so we used those eggs. Yeah, ghetto games. But
yeah.
Wow.
All right, we're up to number 2 right now. So number 2, now beer brewing is associated with men, but back then brewing was mainly a woman job.
When's it back then? What's the time period this is, hey?
13th century.
Where they cracks went.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's what's up.
Well, initially men were out hunting, women are out gathering ingredients that were needed to make other foods and drink, including beer. As you see a lot of the movies, you see them. What do you call that? The women were holding up the bars. They were doing the barley. They're making the food. They're also making the drinks. So,
yeah, they needed their ale.
Can I ask y'all a personal question?
Yes, sir.
Okay, since we're in a man cave now, is there something sexy about a woman that can drink beer?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm not the only one.
No,
it's something about something sexy about a woman. Me and Carla were talking a while back, and she said, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna drink me a Stella." I'm like, "Oh." Check.
One of the things I have a big respect for my wife with. Me and my wife could sit together and we can chug a couple beers down together. So,
yeah.
Yo, wow.
Kelly be like, I like my girls drinking
I like when they drink that foo ass shit because I want to try it. I want to try it. I can't order it. You know,
you don't want to order one, but
I won't order.
Like you just want to take a sip of your girls.
Like, you should get that sweet ass drink right there. You know what I'm saying? It's all fucking fluffy and fucking flavor. Ooh, damn, this motherfucker good. Hey, we're gonna switch. I'm switching the drinks. Like, look.
All right. And you got to think. Do you want a buzz or do you want rotten teeth? You don't don't do it to yourself.
Oh shit!
All right, so back in that centuries, women used to do that. But so when it changed, the woman's role in the field of brewing began to change during the Middle Ages, when monasteries brewed beer on a larger scale to satisfy travelers. Many women were persecuted as witches. And some historians highlight the clear similarities between boosters, the feminine form of word brewer, and frothing cauldrons and broomsticks hung from outside the door to indicate the availability of ale. But that, back then they were, they had the witch problem, right? So,
right.
Yeah, all that was off of speculation.
Witch problem.
Yeah.
Right. I would say, yeah. Witch problem.
Women thinking for themselves suddenly became a witch problem.
Right. Ain't that a bitch?
All right, so we're up to number 1 now. So 10 gender stereotypes that has changed throughout the years. Number 1, what do you guys think? What do we not mention?
Cooking.
No, I think. Well, yeah, that's one. Well, in the islands, at least in the Pacific Islands, men are always the one cooking. For the most part, we barbecue most of the time. But so number 1, now men are more interested in sex, but back then women are more interested in sex.
Well, yeah, because they were stuck with one dude, one lame dick motherfucker that wasn't putting it down. So I imagine they were more interested. Now women are allowed to be free, and do their thing. You know what I'm saying? So I could see that.
He gonna do it till he get it right.
Right.
So, for example, in one ancient Greek myth, Zeus and Hera argue about who gets more pleasure from sexual intercourse, the man or the woman. They asked the prophet, who had once spent 7 years of his life as a woman, answers that if sexual pleasure was divided into 10 parts, only 1 part would go to the man, and the remaining 9 parts would go to the woman.
Damn.
So that was all over Europe. The women were more into sex versus the men.
Do y'all know what a white liver is?
A what?
A white liver?
A white liver, no.
White liver, no.
I don't know, Carl, I told you, but we're considered country bougie. That's what we call ourselves, country bougie, right? So one of the old the sayings that the old folks say is a woman that has a high sex drive is called a white liver. Why they call it that, I have no idea. But look it up and look it up in a Urban Dictionary or something like that, and you see white liver is a woman with a high sex drive, which is kind of weird.
Interesting.
Yeah,
that is weird.
Yeah, I don't know how they came up with that name or anything like that too, but it's supposed to be a woman with a high sex drive. You know how you say nymphomaniac or something like that, but but it's called a white
That's much
liver.
better.
Go find me a white liver.
I'm trying to get me some white liver tonight, man.
Yeah.
That's what everybody said till she's like, let's go again. Like, can I get a Gatorade and some jumper cables, please?
And some ginseng. Goddamn.
Yeah, the whole root.
You know what I'm saying?
Shit. You gotta recharge soon.
White liver, I never heard that. White liver. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's
one to
me. Those country sayings. Yeah.
All right, guys. So that's the 10 gender stereotypes that used to be different back then and now. Is there any other stuff that that's changed besides cooking? Watching kids.
I was thinking the same thing. You know how they do the daddy daycare, like it was a movie and everything, but that really does happen. It really happens.
Yeah, we have a lot of Mr. Moms. We have a lot of Mr. Moms, especially in the military.
Right.
Yeah. I'm trying to be a Mr. Mom.
There's a lot of women working now, men being stay-at-home dads.
I'm with it. Yeah, I'm with it.
I'd be with it.
Yeah.
But the thing is, with a lady, because you know, we as men, we corrupt kids. We teach them the wrong stuff.
We do.
We teach them how to burp and fart and all this other stuff, and scratch in public. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm proud of that. I'm
absolutely, and you should be absolutely.
Yes,
they need to know this shit.
You don't need a bathroom.
There was a
all this grass.
Bathroom.
Yeah. There was a video. Yeah, there was a video about talking about kids, you know, like they can be whatever they want, whatever they do when they don't hear it enough. So there was in a barbershop, this young man was talking to a little boy getting his haircut, and the young barber said, "You know, son, you can be whatever you want." And the boy kept looking at the barber. He goes, didn't say anything. He goes, you know that, right? You can be anything you want. You can even be president of the United States. And there's a slight pause. And the boy said, "No one's ever told me that." And then another slight pause. And the barber started crying. Because we teach our boys, you know, the wrong things about being, you know, masculine or feminist or not to cry and all that. And this kind of ties into gender breaking, you know, what used to be a female thing now is a male thing, you know. I think we don't tell our boys that it's okay to cry, that it's you know, that you can be anything, and stereotypes of being a boy and male, we perpetuate that, you know. I mean, we're all like Gen X and millennials and all that, and sometimes we grew up with that, but now we're in 2021, you know, the rules are breaking now, you know. And so I thought that really touched me when the barber, you know, he grew up like us, but that boy was never told that he can be anything that he wants to be. He didn't have to be a basketball player or a soccer player or baseball player. So,
well, the thing is, these jobs, it's not that they're changing from one to the other. It's just they're genderless now. It's not going from man to woman or woman to man. It's literally it's open for everybody, you know. They out here in Oregon, fucking women's wrestling is huge. It's a big thing out here. Like they have women's wrestling teams, you know,
like high school wrestling.
High school wrestling, bro.
Wow.
Yeah. They got like the good women's wrestling programs. I had never seen no shit like that. We, you know, back when I was in high school, you had the occasional girl that would go out for wrestling, right?
Right.
Occasionally, but they have it now where they have enough girls where they literally have their own shit. You know, they're not wrestling boys. Girls wrestling girls, you know, because they have enough of them doing it, you know. So
cool.
That is pretty cool, you know. All these different sports, there's a lot available to them.
I don't see a problem with that because you think about it. Growing up, I know some of the girls, they were faster than the guys. Number one, number two, a lot of them were heavy-handed. So because you think about it, women mature faster than guys do anyway, physically and mentally. I'm just gonna put it out there.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of women that were actually had more skills, but I know when I was in high school, they were just relegated to volleyball, basketball, and or maybe even softball or field hockey. That's about it. That's about it.
Yeah.
But it's good that they're actually branching out and doing a lot more things, because the stigma that you think about it, even the stigma that the WNBA gets. I mean, they get no kind of publicity.
Right.
And those girls, I mean, they're dunking in games. They're doing the same thing that men do. So what's the problem?
And that's the unfortunate part about Kobe Bryant's passing is the fact that he was really about to help change and elevate not only the WNBA, but just women's sports in general, because he had all those girls and he was very active in their lives and in women's sports. He was impacting so many women, collegiate athletes and into pro athletes, on the women's side. And I really think he was going to help expedite that process and elevate it to a higher level. But I say that just because Kobe obviously got inducted to the Hall of Fame yesterday. So I don't know if you guys saw that, man. But
you're right.
That was pretty dope.
You're right, man. He was really involved with his daughters in sports. And that was a big blow to women's sports.
Well, the past, 10, 20 years, we've got women pilots now. Now we've got the first vice president woman, Kamala Harris. And so, gender is, we've talked about it for past, 20, 30 years, but now, it's really coming to fruition where things are really, swapping, and it's okay. Like I said, it's okay to cry. It's okay to do stuff that usually is made for women, or even for women to break into, men's sports. The UFC and ONE, those are breaking. They've had it for a while, but it's really becoming popular now.
Yes.
Well, I'll tell you, working at a pilot training base in the Air Force, we don't have enough men wanting to become Air Force pilots to actually fill all the pilot jobs that we have in the Air Force. And we desperately need young women coming out of college to be interested in aviation and to want to become, military pilots. We need them, and we need to change that 1980s Top Gun stereotype with the toxic masculinity, and show that, military aviation can be a job and a career field where women can excel. And we do have some really great, women role models out there for some women that are coming up through the ranks. We have some really great, outstanding instructor pilots here that are women. The commander of Air Mobility Command, General Van Ovost, she was a female pilot that made it all the way to 4-star general, right? Wow. So having people like that in the military is invaluable to recruiting and that sort of thing. So we definitely need more of that.
Yeah, but definitely in the Pentagon, they have a whole section that's just for dedicated to women pilots. They were called WASP. And that's one thing that, as far as history, they don't really talk about.
Right.
So there should be some type of movie or documentary or something about them, because they're called women Air Force service pilots. And during the wars, they were doing their thing, and they were all races. So at the same time, I mean, it's just so much of our history that we have no idea about, because it's quote unquote either taboo or it's just not put out there, or there's not enough resources to put them out. So it's kind of sad. So we got to do our own research.
And then you got Fucker Carlson talking about maternity flight suits being a douche, right? So, but I'm all for it. Anything that gets more people to come out. We have a pilot shortage in the military. We can't be discouraging anybody from entering that career field.
Tucker Carlson looks like the type of dude that likes to get pegged. Fuck him.
Yeah.
It's the bow tie. That's what it is.
He needs a quick twisted T in the face one day. It's gonna happen.
I'll take a number to deliver that twisted T to the face, man.
Yeah, but you guys got to realize, one thing you got to realize too, we're living in really historic times. We've had some bad times, we had some good times, but the gender breaking. We got the first female vice president. We've got the first Air Force chief of staff, right? What's her name? Chief Bass. Chief
Master Sergeant of the Air Force. Yeah. Chief of Staff. We have our first black Air Force.
Chief Staff. Yeah. There you go. Yeah. So we have a lot of first
our Uncle Eric, he brought it up that one time. He was talking about our generation in particular. We have experienced so much more change than any other time period in American history, for sure. You know what I'm saying? In such a short amount of time, from 9/11 to recessions to COVID to first black president, first woman president, you know, or vice president. We've had so many significant events happen in our time. This age that we are living in will be in the history books for years to come. Like this shit, so many things that'll be mentioned, and we're living it. You know what I'm saying? And we wonder also why there is so much mental health issues. Obviously, we put more emphasis on that stuff now too than before. But there's so much change occurring all at one time. And while it's great, and then obviously the digital media, all this shit, digital era in general, everything is so fast paced. It's all in our face completely all the time. We're like overwhelmed with information. And while it's super fascinating, it's also something that's like, it's having a direct impact on our culture. And so much, if we don't like slow it down and take a hold of it, you know, we might all end up losing ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Because we are so overwhelmed with information. And sometimes you do have to unplug.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't even have a social media account. I just get on YouTube every now and then. Other than that, after watching the Social Dilemma, I'm good. I'm good. I'm grinding so I can disappear. So it is what it is. So
disappear on your own, on your own accord, right? you ain't got some motherfuckers after you trying to get.
Oh no, I'm not off the grid like that. But that's the main thing. I mean, just can you think about it? We live in an age now that I'm not saying that we're all celebrities or anything like that, but the first thing that you miss out on is privacy. There's certain things that you need to keep to yourself, and we don't have that because we got cameras everywhere. We got people being tracked by their phones, towers, all of that type of stuff. So some things. And that goes back to the mental health thing. Some things you have to have for yourself. And it doesn't need to be broadcast. It doesn't need to be posted. Some things are just for your own mental well-being. Like you can have a meditation room. We have a meditation room here. And we just go up in there and just completely unplug and decompress from everything. It doesn't mean that we're being selfish or anything like that. It just means that, look, sometimes I just need to think about nothing on purpose.
Absolutely.
And that helps me to cope, along with this Captain Morgan too, orange vanilla.
Wait,
I had to walk the plank tonight.
but we all have meditation rooms, right? Everybody has in their house.
Mine is my bicycle, man. Like that's why I like bicycles so much, because you are back to this again. You like, but yeah, like you're out there.
Lloyd beats his meat when he's taking a shit. Now, come on.
That's called taking the kids to the pool.
I got my own meditation room.
Kids to the pool.
Dropping them off in the pool. Taking the Browns to the Super Bowl, baby.
Yeah, feeding the geese.
little turtle pellets.
Little log rolling. Man.
It's gonna get raw.
All right. All right, Galen, are you ready for the Give Me 5?
Let's get it. Let's get it. All right, fellas. So obviously, you know, we like laughing, joking, clowning during this little segment, though. Have to get serious for a split second. So if you guys didn't see, New York City Council, they voted on Thursday to end qualified immunity for police officers. The decades-old protection, I'm reading this from CBS New York. The decades-old protection has prevented officers from being sued or liable for misconduct. New York is now the first city in the country to end qualified immunity. This measure was passed as a part of a package of the police reform bills. Now, a buddy of mine, he posted today what the police officers, a statement that the police union put out to the New York police officers since qualified immunity has ended. The statement reads as such. It says, as a result of the passage of this law and the unavailability of the defense of the qualified immunity under its provisions, we advise that you proceed with caution when taking any police action which could lead to physical engagement with any person, and avoid physical engagement to the greatest extent possible, while also assuring your own safety and the safety of others. Also, you are strongly cautioned against engaging in any stop and frisk unless doing so for your or others' safety. Search of a vehicle, residence, or a person unless you are certain that you are clearly and unequivocally within the bounds of the law. That is what the police union sent out to the police officers, right? Now, if you were following, they literally just said, do your fucking job and don't be racist or biased. Just do your job the right fucking way, is what they said in there. Why did it take for qualified immunity to come to an end for them to tell police officers, do your job the right fucking way? Like, that in itself is a problem. And that's the reason why people say defund the police. And again, I realize like that wording of it's got this negative connotation. And really, they're just saying, no, put the resources elsewhere. You know, like police officers are armed. Police officers shouldn't be, you know, doing traffic stops, right? They shouldn't be doing domestic violence calls and things like that. That's what defunding the police is about. It's like officers, you know, if there's a fucking bank robbery, right? Then we send a SWAT team or we send cops with guns and all that shit, right? If there's people, there's some kind of a physical threat, a mass shooter or whatever, then we send police officers. But for everyday ticketing, traffic, you know, violations or policing the community, we don't necessarily need armed officers, you know, shooting unarmed citizens, because that's happened time and time again. But yeah, so New York City, now the police union's telling their cops to do their job the right fucking way. And this is historic because with qualified immunity ending, that means now police officers can be found liable. They can be sued for misconduct, and it's not just coming out of the taxpayers' money. You know, a lot of times these families, they get paid for officers killing their unarmed loved one, and they'll get this $20 or $30 million settlement. Well, guess what? It comes from taxpayer money. Now, police officers themselves are going to get hit right in their fucking pockets. And I guarantee you, since that'll be happening, that's going to change the way people do shit. You know, you're not going to fire your weapon unless you're absolutely sure. And, you know, just to find out later on, this 13-year-old had a fucking cell phone on him or some shit, as opposed to, you know, you were in fear for your life, which they've been getting away with that shit. It's only in New York City so far, but I definitely think you're going to see that shit start trickling down and going to other cities and other places, and hopefully statewide and federally. This is a good thing. This is a good thing. People should be held accountable for their actions, to include police officers. Nobody is infallible, and shout out to New York City for doing the right thing. But again, it blows my fucking mind that the police union, it took this for them to tell the police officers to do their job the right way and basically don't engage unless you're absolutely fucking sure, which is what they should have been doing in the first place. So, you know, I'm not going to harp too much on this. I'm going to let you guys, you know, have your take on it. But yeah, that's today's Give Me Five, man.
That was a lot less than five. But yeah.
Was it?
Yeah, that was less than five, man. That was a lot less than five. But no, that's good shit, though.
Yeah, it was good.
The problem I got. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
No. I think with because of our smartphones, it's always, you know, we all know it's been around for a long time. We've had a problem with the police and hiring the wrong candidates to be police for whatever reason. But I think that's a step forward. I think a lot of great police are out there. They need to be more outspoken, and each city and each town is going to be different. But that's the problem, is that we don't have enough good officers, you know, speaking up more often. And of course, New York is going to be one of the first. And back then, you know, New York used to be the most corrupt, you know, police force in the nation. And now they're stepping up and changing their ways. And the union is stepping up now. So I think we have a big shift in new leadership, more awareness, being woke. It's not going to be overnight, but I mean, it's gonna change soon.
A couple things there. Number one, I don't think the union is stepping up. I think the union's being a bunch of fucking crybabies about this shit, right? And they're sitting there. It's there's almost like a threatening tone to what Kellen was reading off there, like, hey man, like slow it down a notch. And it's like, that's what we fucking want you to do anyway, motherfuckers.
Right.
But second, I don't think it's necessarily getting the wrong candidates. I think
Say it again.
You get the right candidates and you put them in the fucking car with their first training officer who's been getting trained by motherfuckers, for generations to be these kind of scumbag police that do these kind of things. So you get these young people that are getting into it for the right reasons, and then they're having like all that optimism and community service beaten out of them by their first training officers, like in the first like couple of weeks as a police officer. And I think that's a bigger problem necessarily than who's applying to be a police officer.
Facts. And
go ahead.
Go ahead, D3.
No, I was just saying that it's to me it's certain levels. I think it also goes back to dispatchers.
Mm-hmm.
The dispatchers to the fact that some of the calls that they actually get, if they can use even more discernment, because sometimes those officers, they get some of those different calls from the dispatcher, like, oh, this person might have a gun or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But then they're going there with an attitude. So if they don't have a gun or something like that, they're going to assume from the call that they got from dispatchers that this person could be armed and dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times, think about it, that lady that was in Central Park, she was saying somebody was accosting her or hurting her while she's stringing up her dog and trying to do all this other stuff or whatever, but that really didn't happen. So that's part of it too. But I also have an issue with the fact that it seemed like the police union were just basically reading boilerplate. They would just say, okay, well, this is the fine print right here. So you guys do what you're supposed to do, because we're not going to back you on anything else, because that's what they've been doing before.
Right.
So they won't feel liable for anything. But like you said, this should have been done a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
It should have been a long time ago. And is it really that difficult for how many times matter of fact, all the times you guys have been on a base, any particular time, how many times have you seen an officer or SP pull a gun?
Never.
Exactly. Is it really that difficult to have military personnel to get a government contract to a civilian entity, possibly, or even to the police unions around the country, to show them the same techniques and the same restraint that they have on military bases that they can actually use in the civilian sector? Is it really that difficult? Because I personally have seen security forces
18-year-old kid, 19-year-old kid.
18,
yeah.
Right.
18,
Thank you. It's instilled in them, okay, you only pull out your gun if you can't de-escalate or call for backup or do anything else.
Absolutely.
So obviously the military training is doing something right, because they don't have shootings on base unless it's an active shooter, and then they shut everything down.
Right.
And regardless of what your rank is, they like, okay, we're going to stop traffic. This is what's happening here. But guns still aren't pulled. So why is it with somebody just outside of the gate that's scared of everything, whether it's coming from the call that they got or whether it's just their mentality? And if it's their mentality, they really don't need that job in the first place. So they're just coming out guns blazing. That doesn't make sense to me.
So before I joined the military, and this is something I'll tell too many people, but people who are close to me, they know. But before I joined the military, I actually tried out for the Joplin, my hometown, police department. They were hiring at that time. And I thought for a minute, I was like, I just graduated college and shit. And I was like, you know what? I think I want to do FBI. Maybe I should do some law enforcement. I was training high school kids and shit at this time. But anyway, I tried out for it. There's a written portion and there was, the physical portion, right? I was told later on by a guy who's a cop, and he was kind of tutoring me. I was the only person that made the top 5 in both the written portion and the physical portion, right? There was like 50-something officers that applied. I was the only one that was top 5 in both of them. When I went in to do the lie detector test, which is pretty much one of the last portions before there's more shit, but it was like the most crucial part, right? So we go in there. They're like, hey, is there anything on your, because when you fill out, you have to tell, have you ever broken the law? Have you ever, fucking done drugs? How many times? What drugs? All kind of shit, right? So they're like, is there anything that you lied about on your application that you want to correct now before we do the lie detector, right? Before we do this lie detector and it gets revealed in the light, anything you want to come clean with? I was like, okay. So on my application, I'd written that I'd smoked weed like 3 times in my whole life, right? That was, a lie. Like I was a college student. I never smoked in high school or anything, but I smoked probably 20 times or something, in fucking college, right? So I was like, yeah, I lied, and I was like, and I tried ecstasy one time too. So I told him that shit, right? Was honest with him. Boom. So we go through. He's like, "Oh, thank you for being honest." Da da da. We do the lie detector test. Flying colors. Everything's good, right? They ask you, have you ever stolen anything? Have you ever done this? And like, well, even when they ask you if you stole anything, you're like, you've never been at work and accidentally took a pen home that wasn't yours. And I'm like, well, fuck. When you put it like that, yeah, I'm sure.
Larceny.
Yeah. So they hit you with all kind of shit, right? We finish the thing. 2 weeks later, I get a letter in the mail, and it said basically, I failed. And I'm not allowed to ever try to become a police officer for the city of Joplin again, because it was all stemmed from me telling them the truth. So basically, what I found out later on was whatever you write down initially, you have to stick with that same story all the way throughout. If you change or deviate even a little bit, it automatically disqualifies you. And what I found out from that was not necessarily because they feel like necessarily like you lied in the beginning. They just want they want people who will stick to the same fucking story. Here is your story, and you stuck with it. We don't want you coming clean at the end and changing up anything.
So there's no integrity.
No.
Bruh, that's exactly what I got from it. Zero integrity, because there was guys who had done far worse drugs. I know 2 officers in particular who had done some shit, but they were honest about it. They said it in the beginning or whatever, and they just stuck with that. But basically, they told me later on, they're like, had whatever you said in the beginning, had you just stuck with that, even with the lie detector test, like lie detector tests are bullshit because they're very subjective, right? Because the person who's conducting it, if they're not a person of integrity, right, they can manipulate the shit. So it's actually inadmissible in courts and shit. But yeah, they told me had I stuck with the same story, I'd have been okay. But since I came clean and changed my story, that ruled me out, because they want people that will stick with the same fucking story. So when a cop says, I was scared for my life.
Your core values and it wasn't good enough.
Right.
Bro, exactly.
Wow.
Exactly. And that's when I realized, how shady it truly was, That was eye-opening. And some people they'll try to twist it up, and they'll say, well, no, Kellen, if you'd have just been honest at the beginning, then it would have been, no. I was literally told by 2 different officers, I could have lied at the very beginning. As long as I stuck with it, I'd have been okay.
Right.
Didn't matter. It was as long as I said the same thing. So it's a trip, bro.
Circle back real quickly to what D3 was saying about dispatchers, because first thing that came to my mind when he said that was Tamir Rice, right? And where, all the police have to go on when they arrive at a scene is like what the dispatchers are telling them, which they could be getting from some 911 caller that's got, their own. So just the fact that like they're not taking the time to really assess the situation in a lot of these cases, right? So yeah, I mean, ending qualified immunity and forcing police officers to slow it down, take a breath, think about what's going on is obviously, a good thing. And who's going ahead? Go ahead. Anyway,
finish your point.
So another thing that Kellen was talking about is diverting resources away from police and other things. So are you in Eugene, Oregon, by any chance?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
so they have this program. You probably heard of it, Cahoots.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Cahoots.
Mm-hmm.
That is an amazing program where basically it's a paramedic and a mental health professional.
Yeah.
That are in a van, right? And they have something similar in Denver now, and it saves money. They haven't killed anybody yet,
No.
And they're responding to like a lot of different calls that normally would be handled by police. Yep. And that's not the whole solution, but it's maybe a piece of that solution that we can implement in other cities around the country and probably save lives, save money. We can pour some of that money that we're not putting into the police departments in those communities into improving those communities and reducing crime. So yeah, I mean, I don't know, maybe I'm just some raging liberal that wants to do a little bit of good in the world, but
nothing wrong.
But yeah, there's a lot of things that we can be doing differently, and our policing system in this country, when you compare it to other countries, and I think most of us have lived in another country at one point in time or another, it's crazy the differences.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Crazy the differences.
Yeah. And And you guys do bring up a good point talking about the dispatchers, but again, I don't want to put too much emphasis on the dispatchers because then we're taking away the accountability on those police officers. Because at the end of the day, those dispatchers, they're not like armed combatants, right? Like their job is to give the police officer as much information as they have. So the last thing a dispatcher wants to do is send a police officer into a situation and not tell them that there could potentially be a gun, right?
Right.
And then that police officer, that police officer gets killed.
Dispatcher to triage. You can't expect that.
Yeah. So it's for the police officer to take all that information and then still assess the situation. We have a situation like Tamir Rice. The motherfucker was firing before the goddamn vehicle even stopped. He was killing this kid before the vehicle even fucking stopped, bro. And so when you have situations, I mean, there's plenty of these situations for us to look at, and it's mind-boggling that no matter how many times it gets videotaped, no matter how many times we see these incidents over and over and over and over, people still try to justify the shit. I'm just glad qualified immunity, New York City. I'm glad that's ended. I hope to see other cities do the same thing. And again, when you have these situations, when these police officers and the police unions, when they are held responsible as opposed to the taxpayers, it coming out of taxpayers' pockets, you are going to see a difference in policing. You're hitting them right in the pockets, right? Yeah. You're hitting them in the fucking pockets, and that's where it hurts. And hopefully, quote unquote, good cops. I don't like saying good cops anymore. I have good friends who are good people who happen to be police officers, right? That I do. But guess what? I don't call you a good cop unless you are calling out bad ones. You know what I'm saying? If you are sitting here time and time again, it's my brother in blue and all that bullshit. Nah, bro. Because every cop, they know the motherfucker. They know a motherfucker at their unit that doesn't have any business being a cop. Just like when we were in the military, there was motherfuckers that we know didn't have any business being in the military.
We had a name for it. It's called dirtbag airmen.
Exactly.
There's a name for it.
Exactly.
You a dirtbag airman. You mean to tell me you're on dorm guard and I'm supposed to go to sleep and expect you to protect me?
Right.
No, bro. No, bro. That ain't you. You the Latrine Queen now.
Absolutely. And we put them in the positions where they couldn't impact people or they could. Yeah, you gonna clean fucking bathrooms, bro. Absolutely.
I can't trust you while I'm asleep. No, sir. No. You can't even fold your drawers in a 6-inch square. It ain't happening. Sorry.
Now, hold on, man. Here, the drawer folding thing, man.
But tell the truth. Can you trust somebody who can't fold their drawers? But can you trust them with your life? If they can't do something menial like fold their drawers,
that is a good point. That is a good point. But yeah,
no, clean their room, keeping their dorm inspection, I mean, but you go back to D3 talking about the rules of engagement, and so of course New York now is stepping up to changing that rules of engagement. I think the military rules of engagement and the civilian rules of engagement are different. So that's one thing they need to change. And like I said, holding them accountable, but also changing that rules of engagement. A lot of people say it's training, but it is training. What's that guy, that Navy SEAL guy? What's his name? Jocko. His name is.
Jocko. Bro, it's not fucking training. We see them possess restraint when it's white kids. We see them possess restraint.
Yeah.
We see these police officers not kill white people. We see it. That's not training, bro. It's man.
I think it goes back to them, the neighborhoods that they're patrolling. They need to be a part of that neighborhood too.
Absolutely.
You can't sit back and say, okay, well, me personally, I live here in Hughesville, but I'm going to go patrol somewhere in like maybe 20 or 30 miles from here. No, I don't know the citizens. I don't know anybody there. So I don't know Joe Blow who just happens to go to a corner store, but he has issues mentally.
Right.
Which goes back to what y'all was saying with cahoots. That needs to be everywhere.
Right.
Because you have mental health professionals that can de-escalate any situation or as many situations as they possibly can.
Absolutely.
And it doesn't take a taser, it doesn't take rubber bullets, it doesn't take a gun. It doesn't take any of that. You got people that are having all types of crisis and stuff going on in their life, and then a gun introduced to that? No.
It changes it all.
That's not an answer.
It changes it. Yeah, it changes it. Is Kahoot? I remember Kahoot with Oregon. I think Denver also. But is that experimental? Is that something? Yeah.
No, it's not experimental. It's been in Oregon. It was the first. Eugene was the first city, I believe, in the country to incorporate this thing. And this is before George Floyd. This cahoots has been around. Shit, I moved out here in 2015, and I want to say it was already in effect when I was out here. If it wasn't, it was shortly thereafter. So
man,
wow. It's been around. Yeah, this is before George Floyd. They were ahead of the game, bro. And like you said, hopefully it'll pass on and move on to other cities. Well, and don't get it twisted. Cahoots has their problems in terms of like they're slow. Like your cops, you call the motherfucking police for something. The motherfuckers, they're there. If they say a black man with a gun, they'll be there quick as shit. But any other situation, it might
that's setting the wrong tone if it's not a gun.
Right. Yeah. But any other situation, they take their time, because they have a lot of issues that they're dealing with. But they come and they know how to assess the situations. They know how to handle the people that they're dealing with, because there's a lot of mental illness.
It's a staffing issue.
Yeah, you need more cahoots.
Yeah,
fans.
No, true.
That's what you need.
Yeah,
it's not the problem with the program that they're slow. It's that you don't have enough of them.
The resources.
Denver was the second one that I've heard of. Berkeley, California is doing. They're now trying to have unarmed traffic enforcement officers issuing tickets, and that's the big one, because
meter maids.
So
meter maids.
You think about how many of these shootings start with like a traffic stop, right?
Right.
Guy gets pulled over because he got a little fucking pine tree hanging from his rearview mirror or some shit, right? And like that's how most civilian encounters with police start, is with a traffic stop. And so taking the armed police officer, like I'm even at the point now where, like, if you guys have seen like the TV show Watchmen from HBO, I'm like, let's do that.
Let's
make it so that if they draw their gun or something like that, they have to like be able to justify ahead of time why they're drawing that gun, or at the very least, the technology exists. You could put a sensor on a holster where if they draw their gun, it's immediately phone and dispatch, and they got a second person like in their ear, right? Asking, hey, what's going on? Why'd you draw your gun? That way, I mean, that technology, I guarantee you, if it doesn't exist, we are not that far away from it. But something like that to where, removing guns from as many encounters with civilians as possible, I think is the key.
Absolutely.
In my opinion, yeah.
No, absolutely. Now these motherfuckers for every drug.
Isn't it like Japan and Korea? Oh no, Japan and UK. The police officers don't have guns.
Yeah. Like the regular beat cops in Japan didn't carry guns. A lot fewer police shootings over there. Just saying.
I don't know.
Of course, then again,
I think.
Average civilians in Japan don't carry guns either. So, I mean,
imagine that in Texas.
Right.
This is one of the few countries, like one of the few developed countries, where police can basically not necessarily assume, but like have a reasonable fear that anybody that they pull over or anybody they happen to come across might be carrying a gun. Like that is the one. That is the one thing I will concede to police, is that policing in America is more dangerous because there are more guns, right?
Right.
But then those people saying Blue Lives Matter don't want to do anything to remove those guns from the street.
What's a blue light? Is that a Smurf? I mean, I'm not understanding.
It's a U.S. Navy sailor, is what it is actually. So
since when did your career or a job become your life? Though your job, you're like, you can quit that job. I can't quit being black. D3 can't quit being black.
That's true.
Exactly.
You know, one thing I'm thinking too is.
Well, I think we both all agree.
Going in and out.
And
go ahead. So I'm sorry. I know this topic can go on forever. You got me? Hello?
Yeah, we got you. We got you, brother.
It's just your video's a little sporadic.
That old booty ass connection.
Yeah.
Whoever played record share has shitty Wi-Fi.
All right, so I know this. Yeah. I know. I'm sorry, guys. I know we can. We talk about another podcast.
Be like, 1 star, Wi-Fi sucks.
Yeah, I know. There's a lot of factors that can go in and trying to help it and update and change and reform the police department in every city and town. To me, I believe, to make it really serious is they should change the funding for the police to make it federal, like Homeland Security, Coast Guard, and the customs and all that. But anyways, that's just funding issues. But there's so many things that we can do to change and reform police departments in every city and every town, and we can go for days. But we all kind of agree it's not just one thing. We got there's a lot more work to do.
It's multifaceted.
New York, yeah, multifaceted. It's not just one reason.
New York.
All right, guys. Good on New York. Thank you, Kellen, for giving me 5. I know that's a hot topic for everybody. We'll come back. We'll circle back. What do we say? We'll circle back, and we'll do more on that.
Yeah, we're gonna run
right
back.
now. We've got we're 20 minutes away. Yeah. Our next segment, our last segment of the day. Poddex are the hottest new tool for podcasters looking to be more meaningful conversations or gamify their podcast. Simply shuffle up and ask a question and let the content roll. Get yours today at poddex.com and use code HWY54 for 10% off your first order. So we've got a new category. It's called Movie Night.
Ooh.
Oh, I'm
all right,
the king
so
of useless movie
this is how we do
trivia.
it. Questions. It's not more trivia. It's more what you guys do for movies. All right. So first question. Do you show up to the movies on time to watch the trailers, or do you prefer to roll up late?
I got to see the trailers for $100.
Yeah, I don't want to miss those trailers.
I'm nosy. I need to know what's going on. What next movie I might want to go see? Oh yeah,
right.
Trailers. Yeah.
Plus, you got to get popcorn and a drink and whatnot.
But I don't trip if I don't see the trailers. Like if I miss some of the trailers, I'm not butthurt about it.
Right.
I want to get there early so I can get
I like
a good seat. I like having a good seat, like center. Yes. Like not all the way back, but maybe like halfway back in the theater, right?
Funny you say that. When in my audio engineering school, the hot spot as far as THX is concerned with the digital audio output, 47 feet from the screen.
Taking a tape measure to the next movie I go to.
Or you can get a laser. You can get a laser measure, and 47 feet. That's the hot spot for THX.
There you go. All right.
Good to know.
Right in the middle.
47 feet, baby.
47 feet.
47 feet. I'm gonna start tape measures more fun, right? Like
I'm gonna start at the front of the screen and be counting. I'm gonna be counting my steps and shit. And
and if somebody's in your seat, then you flash a badge or something like that. Like
top flight security of the world.
All right, next question here. What's your favorite genre of movies?
Horror.
Oh, damn.
I like
action.
War movies. War movies.
Yeah. I like war movies. I like action movies.
Action.
Oh, I like westerns too. Mm-hmm. Tombstone is one of the greatest movies of all time. Period.
Like that many westerns anymore, man.
Hold on. You said Tombstone. What happened to was it
which one?
Was it what it was
Unforgiven?
Unforgiven was dope. Silverado was dope because that was before they, yeah. What was it? Was it 110 to Yuma?
310 to Yuma. 310 to Yuma. Yeah. 310 to Yuma's good. That's a good
remake.
One.
Okay. Just checking.
But like the way how like Heath Ledger played Joker on Dark Knight, right? Like he just played the shit out of that role.
Right.
Motherfucking Val Kilmer playing Doc Holliday. Nobody's played Doc Holliday better, bro.
No.
I'll be your Huckleberry.
I'll be your Huckleberry.
Bro, that was my guy, man.
You can say that. You can say that in the hood, and everybody leave him alone. Leave him alone. That'd be crazy.
Right.
Be crazy.
They don't make that many westerns anymore. Whatever happened to the western genre? Like you get like one or two a year, man.
Well, because they got too crazy there for a while, though. You know what I'm saying?
Everybody.
Ooh, Carl Anderson be like,
dog. D3, is this your homie, Carl?
Yeah, that's kinfolk right there. But we'll work on that. We'll do some remedial.
Bro.
But the thing is with what Carl don't understand is like with westerns. I watch westerns before a lot of those guys were actually stars. Now think about it. Silverado.
Right.
Kevin Costner wasn't a star yet.
Right.
True.
Danny Glover wasn't a star yet.
No.
Jeff Goldblum wasn't a star yet.
Right.
Lynn Whitfield wasn't a star yet.
Right.
Kevin Kline wasn't a star yet.
Well, and then you got Posse. Y'all remember Posse?
Yes. Yeah, they had all the rappers in there. I'm like, no. Big Daddy Kane ain't a hustler. No,
I like Posse.
I'm cool with Mario Van Peebles.
Young Guns.
No, sir. Can't dirt. I can't dirt.
Yeah, Young Guns, the first one.
Young Guns, bro. Young Guns.
Yes. What did the guy say? Did
anybody
see the size of that chicken? Yeah, because they was on that peyote.
Motherfuckers faded.
They were high as a kite.
Right. The gangster movies. That's another good one.
I fuck with the gangster movies.
Some fucking Goodfellas and shit like that. Yeah,
bro. Oh man.
What about
Hoodlums?
Did y'all watch Hoodlum was dope? Did y'all watch American? Was it American Me? And Blood In, Blood Out.
Blood In, Blood Out. Oh shit, yeah.
Those are my two favorites right there.
Yeah.
Blood In, Blood Out. Oh my goodness.
Colors.
Yeah.
Colors.
Ving Rhames was in that movie and he had hair.
Yeah.
That's how you know that movie old. Ving Rhames had hair.
Before he was a star. Yeah. He had hair. Wow. And it was nappy too.
You know what, man? You know another one that was good though is The Town. And that's more of a the bank robbery shit.
Ben Affleck and Jeremy.
I normally don't fuck with Ben Affleck, but that was a good one, bro. Because I like Jeremy. Was it Jeremy Renner? What's his name?
Jeremy Renner. Yeah.
When he said
Bullseye.
Yeah.
Oh, Hawkeye rather.
Hawkeye.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Next question here. Have any movies filmed in your hometown?
No, my hometown.
Any movies filmed in your
hometown fucking sucks.
Top Gun.
San Diego. Top Gun. San Diego. Yeah. Top Gun.
But they were trying to have a prize package on The Price Is Right to my hometown. We were like, excuse me? Who are you talking to?
There probably was a movie filmed in my hometown. I just ain't never heard of it. There was that MTV show, Teen Mom. One of the teen moms is from my hometown. That's like the closest I can think of right now. That's not exactly like a good mark for my hometown. That's more of a black mark. She's been like arrested multiple times since then. But yeah,
Bonnie and Clyde, they had a home, like a house they stayed in my hometown. It's like a historical marker. So,
wow.
Yeah, Top
Lloyd,
Gun
you there?
Our only one for San Diego. All right, who is your favorite movie villain?
Oh, dude,
Heath Ledger Joker probably. Whew.
Oh, dude.
Damn.
Joker.
Heath Ledger was off the chain.
Heath Ledger, man, he changed it. Yeah. He changed the game.
Hard to pick against that one.
Like you end up liking him, even though he was like, you're like, damn, motherfucker.
Especially when he made that pencil disappear.
Oh. Yes, he did. Yes.
That was a great scene. I mean, Darth Vader was great, obviously.
Great scene.
Killmonger from Black Panther. I actually really like him.
I'm gonna dig a little bit deeper. What about Falling Down, Michael Douglas? Mm-hmm. All he wanted to do was go to his son's birthday party, and he snapped and just started shooting up all types of folks. So
with that shotgun, yeah.
Oh yeah, with a business suit on, his little turtle.
I mean,
glasses with a tape in the middle.
Oh yeah. Joaquin, how about Joaquin Phoenix, the Joker?
Oh, and the Joker.
He was pretty good too.
He made you. That one was such a dope ass role for the simple fact of like you literally start understanding. You're like, before you always have these villains in these movies, and you're like, why are they bad? Like, who just likes being bad? Yeah. It made sense. Because at one point in time, he thought he was laughing with the world. And then when he realized the world was laughing at him, he was like, oh, okay, fuck y'all. Like, he felt bullied. And it like made sense why he would be a bad person and continue to do bad shit. Like, it was like, oh, I get you now. I understand you, Joker. You know, you're still wrong, but I get it. I understand why you got to that point. That was dope.
It made it personable. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Y'all ever seen Devil in a Blue Dress?
I mean, is that Denzel? Is that the old Denzel?
Oh yeah,
Denzel. To me, Denzel's best movie. Yeah, him and Don Cheadle. Don Cheadle was his partner from
That was
Houston.
Don Cheadle. Oh,
what's that movie again? Devil in the Blue Dress.
Devil in the Blue Dress.
Mouse. Devil in the Blue Dress.
Yeah.
Tom Sizemore played the villain up in that one.
Yeah.
Tom Sizemore, what he did was he was actually trying to find the girl who technically was the devil in the blue dress,
right?
Which was Jennifer Beal.
Yeah.
So he tried to find her,
Yeah.
and his main character was just completely ruthless, and he was working for somebody else, but he didn't tell Denzel.
Yep.
And then one of the quotes from that was like, okay, I don't want to walk out my house, and he said, I don't want to be caught up in something. He said, when you walk out your house every morning, you're caught up in something. It just depends on whether you're caught up from at the top or not.
Damn.
It was deep. It was really deep.
Ooh,
yeah.
You said Denzel and you said Don Cheadle. And I'm like, I'm sold.
Right.
Sold.
Right. That is one of the.
That's a classic.
And what he did was he had Don Cheadle come up. He said, okay, so so Tom Sizemore came to his house and just broke into his house or whatever, and was holding him a knife point. So he's like, okay, so I'm gonna make a call to Houston to Hattie Mae. And then Don Cheadle comes up. His name is Mouse, and he comes up and he's like, Denzel is fighting this dude, and he's like, hey man, that dude trying to cut a smile in your neck. What you want me to shoot him? So I mean, it is hilarious. But Mouse is the smallest dude on there, but he has the biggest pistol. So and it's set in the 30s, I want to say 30s and 20s.
Something like
He's
that.
He's like, man, the price of bread was $1. Well, no, the price of bread was 15 cents. Man, it's going up. It's crazy.
While you're talking about villains and Denzel, the movie that they did that they owe Denzel, but Training Day. Denzel was the fucking villain, bruh, and he was a bad motherfucker, bruh.
He was.
Yeah, bruh. That was one of the best villains, dog. Denzel, as much as we love Denzel, you like, damn, Denzel, you an asshole. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he was a jerk, and they're gonna come out with John Q.
Right. He had to get his image back, bruh. He had to get his image back.
Yeah.
Man of Fire,
Kevin Spacey in 7 and Kevin Spacey in Usual Suspects. Now, of course, we hate Kevin Spacey now, but yeah, like fucking Kaiser Soze. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Kaiser Soze.
Kevin Spacey was good in, no, I'm thinking about somebody else. Never mind, don't worry about it.
All right, have you ever been surprised? Have you ever been surprised to find a movie that made you cry?
Have I ever been surprised?
What's that Pixar movie with the elves?
Yeah.
What's it called?
Not Up.
Well, Up made me cry too.
Up.
But
I know you cried on Up.
Yeah. What's the shit? What is it called? Onward.
This is going back to what you were saying about masculinity and crime. Good segue. I appreciate that, Floyd. That's what's up.
Yeah, Onward.
Like that,
Onward's what it's called, man.
That was butter smooth.
Because it's got
Jerry Maguire.
Star-Lord and Spider-Man. Star-Lord and Spider-Man like play the voices of these two elves that are like trying to bring back one of their fathers. Oh, it's like you get to the end of that movie, it'll make you cry. Yeah. It's so good. Probably one of my favorites.
You said Jerry Maguire made you cry?
Yeah.
I can see that.
There's only one movie that made me quiet. It was called Lackawanna Blues. And Lackawanna Blues, it was Terrence Howard, and he was talking to it's technically his foster son, and the people were actually coming to make sure that he was actually in a productive household, and he was mean to the kid the whole time. And the people were asking all types of garbage questions and stuff like that too. And he just looked at me. He's like, no, what you're not going to do is ask that kid this, because he and I are going to go fishing and we got a whole bunch more fish to catch. Are you with me? And the little boy looks at him with his lip is quivering. My lip is quivering like, oh yeah. Okay. Wow. Lackawanna Blues. It's an all-star cast in that one too. Lackawanna Blues. Because what it's about is basically I can't remember her name, but she was actually taking people from Virginia, I want to say Virginia, from the South, and moving them to Virginia to give them a better life in the 50s. And it had all types of Reuben Blades was in it, all types of people. And then by her doing that, she gave them a job. Even the guy that was Mr. Haynes from A Different World, he was on there, and they had little funny skits. Ernie Hudson, one of the skits they had on there was it wasn't really a skit, but one of the funny scenes they had on there was, okay, well, he said the doctor told me that I had cirrhosis of the liver, but I thought he had roaches of the liver. I felt something crawling in there. Like, what are you talking about? But it had a whole bunch of different stars in there, which was pretty interesting. It's called Lackawanna Blues. It's hilarious. Yeah, and they said the hot fish makes the lettuce wilt. No, it's the spicy dressing on the lettuce that makes it wilt for the hot fish. And they had a fish fry. I mean, it's pretty interesting. It's you have to see it. Lackawanna Blues. It's interesting.
First movie that made me cry was My Girl.
Blues.
Yeah, that'll do it.
When Homeboy died, and she said he needs his glasses when he's in the casket. After you got
that was wrong.
I was good the whole movie, bro. And that part though, when she said he needs his glasses, dog, I lost it.
Remember the Titans when when Berthier was in that crash?
Stop.
Oh,
stop.
Okay,
stop. No,
that one's good too.
I'm still getting misty eyed from Gary.
How about you, Eric?
Marley and Me.
Yeah.
Oh, you a dog guy?
Yeah. Actually, anytime a dog dies in a movie, like I do want to kind of punch the director. Like, what the fuck were you doing, man? Come on.
John Wick, huh? Okay.
No, man. Right, and nothing will ever be as bad for me.
We were soldiers.
Ricky.
Oh, yeah.
Bro.
Right.
Well, there's a lot of war movies.
When Ricky got shot, bro, on Boys in the Hood. Ricky!
No, but Ricky pissed me off. Dude, people are shooting at you. Literally shooting at you, and you want to do a scratch off?
Bro.
Are you serious right now?
Bro,
a scratch off.
Trying to see how lucky he's trying to catch his luck, right?
Yeah.
He thought he bent the corner. He thought he bent the block.
Yeah. Think about it. It was 2 shots. Think about it. It was 2 shots. First shot took his career.
Yeah.
Second shot took his life.
Took his life. Yep.
No,
that's real.
No, you can't.
That's real.
What's the dad's name? What's the dad's name?
Clarence or Lawrence Fishburne.
This is Lawrence.
Lawrence Fishburne.
Yeah. That scene, the scene when what's his name came back, and he tried to pick up a gun.
Yeah.
His dad was.
He think you a man with that gun, huh?
Yeah.
Think you a man with that?
Yeah, that's the one right there.
Bro, that was deep. There. And then you see the things at the end where he talks about other people didn't make it.
Doughboy
made it out. Yeah.
Doughboy died.
Doughboy got done.
Yeah.
Yeah, at the end.
Ricky should have been
ducking
and
great movie, man.
Scratch off.
All right. Well, that's it, guys. Highway 54. That's a brand new category, movie night. We've got a lot of more good questions. I know all of us here got some great movies behind us. Man, we've got some deep categories and insights. And D3, thank you, man. You actually made it a lot more deeper and more understanding. I enjoy you coming. You're more.
We
like Carla.
Thank y'all for letting me be in there. I appreciate y'all. The testosterone up in here is thicker than duck butter. So it's
I know.
I don't know if it's duck butter, but I will nod. Yeah.
Thicker than cold oatmeal. It's all good.
There you go. That one I get. Yeah.
Yeah, wow, bro.
Thank y'all for having me. I appreciate it. So when callers in here, I'm in the background, supporting. So it's whatever y'all on the real, whatever y'all need me to do on the back end.
You should join in more often.
Just join in with us.
I ain't got good sense. So if you expect me to join in, then you ain't got good sense.
None of us have good sense, man. That's why we're here.
We all got issues.
Yeah,
and subscriptions.
Absolutely. Yeah.
My issues got issues. What are you talking about?
Hey guys. We all have issues. All right, guys. Have a great Sunday. I'm out here in LA. Sorry for the week the Wi-Fi, but we made things happen. D3, thank you again for coming in.
One star on that Yelp review, man.
More than
Salute.
welcome to come join us every time. Kellen, DJ, Mr. A, Filsner, thank you so much. Have a great Sunday and wish me luck, guys. I state board tomorrow.
Yes,
thank
good
you
luck,
to,
brother.
I want to thank you guys. You know, I went to LA,
have a good one.
Las Vegas.
You got this.
Yeah.
You got this.
I went to Las Vegas a couple weeks ago and I dropped my COVID card. So I want to give a shout out to Delta employee Angela Jackson. She found my COVID card at the gate.
Wow.
She messaged me on Facebook and sent it to me the other day. So I just want to thank you, Angela Jackson, Delta. Even though I don't like Delta.
That's important too.
Thank you
very much.
She tried to get on the show.
Right. I know, right? All right. Well, thank you very much, guys. Have a great day and wish me luck, guys. See you guys next week.
You got it, bro.
Y'all
See you.
Stay safe, guys.
I have a good one.
Yeah, hold on, guys.
We're still live.